In this lecture, you will learn how to code the category entity class and category repository interface. In the category entity class, we will have two special entity relationships. The first one is one-to-one, referring to the parent category, and the second one is one-to-many, referring to a set of subcategories. As a category can have 0 or 1 parent and 0 or more subcategories. And because we are using hybrid forward engineering, so from the entity class, it will generate the corresponding table in the database with the corresponding columns. And then we will be able to store the category information in a hierarchical structure like this. As you can see here, we have the categories, CPU processor unit, graphic cards, internal hard drivers, all have the parent is computer components, which has the parent is computers. And similarly, the electronics category has a subcategory is camera and photo, which has a subcategories box and cases and digital cameras. Alright, come back to our IDE and open the ShopMe common project where we create the entity classes in the package com.shopme.common.entity here. So let's create a new entity class here. Category. Okay, here we go. And in this entity class, we need to declare some fields that are ID, name, alias, image, enabled, status, enabled, and a reference to the parent category, private category. So it refers to the category itself, parent, and a set collection of subcategories. Set category children equal new has set. Okay. And then we need to use some annotations to annotate this class and the fields. So for the class, we need to use the entity annotation, and we specify the table name, which is categories here. And for the ID field here, we use the annotation ID and generated value with the strategy is generation type identity. Okay, and then for the field name here, we need to use the column annotation here with the attributes length is 128 characters, and then nullable equal false and unique equal true, meaning that the category name must be unique. And then the similar for the field alias here, with the length is shorter, that's 64 characters, nullable false and unique true. And then the image stores the image file name, not the actual image file. So the length is 128 characters, nullable equal false. Okay. And for the parent field here, we need to use the one-to-one annotation, one-to-one annotation, and specify the join column. Join column. Here, the column name is parent underscore ID. And then for the field children, which is the set collection here, we need to use the one-to-many annotation, one-to-many annotation, and mapped by the field name parent here. Okay, that's it for the annotations. And then we generate the getter and setter methods for all the fields in this class. Okay, generate. Okay, here we go. the code of the category entity class. Now we can start the Shopee backend application to let Hibernate generate the corresponding table in the database. And note that in the application properties file, we need to specify the value update for the property spring.jpa.hibernate.ddl auto here. And I need to see the SQL statements, so I change show SQL here to equal true. Okay, and then start the Shopee backend application and see the output in the console view. Okay, you see some SQL statements printed. Here you see create table categories with the columns ID, alias, enable, image, name, parent ID, perfect, and some constraints for the foreign keys, unique here, perfect. Now let me check in the database in MySQL Workbench here. Refresh the tables here. Refresh all. And you see the categories table got created here with the columns ID, alias, enable, image, name, parent ID here. Perfect. And let me alter this table to see its structure here. Okay, you see the columns here with the data type and the attributes and constraints here. Alias varchar 64 enable, image varchar 128, name, and the name column must be unique here. All other columns, all columns must be required, not null here. The parent ID can be null, okay. And see the constraints here, front keys here. You can see it has a front key that refers to the table itself here. Parent ID refers to the primary key column here. And then we can create the category repository interface in the Shopee backend project. So let's create a new interface here. And we create a subpackage is com.shopee.admin.category, and the class name is category here, category repository here, and the super interface is paging and sorting repository, because we are going to use the sorting and pagination for the category module. Okay, finished. And change the entity type here is to category, which is from the Shopee Common project here. And then the type of the ID field is integer. Okay, that's it for the category repository interface.